Yo. What's going on, everyone? Hey, this is Baby here. And today, I want to do something really kind of different from the normal. I know this isn't the regular setup. Usually I have a cam setup, but really just kind of wanted to do something a little bit more educational tonight. So today I'm going to show you guys how to actually cut out simple objects in Photoshop. Now, you know, images and cutouts of images, that's all like, basically the building blocks of, putting together, scenes and, all sorts of different things. So, this is actually a really cool skill to learn, and it's very useful. And, just to kind of give you a heads up, this is not, the most advanced tutorial per se. This is just going to be best for cutting out simple objects, things that are more difficult to cut out, like really really curly hair and different things like that. There's other ways of cutting out those types of objects that are a little bit more effective. This is just for more simple objects that have really solid lines on them. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be cutting out today actually one of the new characters announced for Mortal Kombat 11, Jax, who looks really cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and start. I have this this new project that I've opened for Photoshop. Basically, all I did was go to File, New, and then I have my settings here, which is basically the standard 1920 by 1080 format, which is typically done for video, 300 pixels per inch on resolution, and then the color mode is going to be RGB. Since I'm not going to be really printing this out, I don't need to use CMYK, which is better for printing things. As you can see, like the CMYK, that's kind of the ink that they use for printers and different things like that. So we'll go ahead and create this, and we just made a duplicate basically of what we have. Now what I want to do is I want to bring my photo in at this time. So I'm going to go to File, Open, and I have my photo conveniently here of Jax. And we'll just go ahead and open that up. It actually fits pretty nicely because I believe the photo is actually 1920 by 1080 as well. So here's a photo of Jax. Like I said, pretty simple cutout. We got some nice lines around here. So, basically what we want to do first is go ahead and unlock the photo. As you can see down here, in your layer section, we have this little lock right here, and we basically just want to unlock it. We can do that by just simply clicking it, and that will unlock it. Now, what we want to do is we want to select the pen tool, which is right down here. Okay, and actually we'll go ahead and select it first, and then once we select it, you'll see in the toolbar up here, we have a couple of different options for the tool. We can do like a shape or a path or pixels. I have it set to path right now because that's what we're going to be using to actually cut out the character. So now that we have the pen tool selected, we're ready to start basically cutting out immediately. Let's start by just cutting out the initial outline of the character right here. And I want to get a little bit closer. It seems like I want to get in really close and get a nice detailed cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move in on the image by holding down Control or Command on your Apple or PC, and then as I hold it, I'm going to press the plus button to just kind of zoom in. Right about there is fine. I can see basically the nice lines. Pretty simple to kind of see. Like I said, the picture itself is fairly simple, and this is going to be perfect for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and start off my pen tool by just clicking one little point right here, and then I'm just going to click another, and they're just going to start connecting like this. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of move through slowly up here. It's kind of a tedious process, but just keep in mind, you know, the longer you take with it to line out these objects, the cleaner the final product is going to look. So you can kind of move quickly, but you know, you don't want to rush yourself too much. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit at this time, and we'll see you right after I finish outlining this object here. Okay, as you can see, we've gotten down to the very end of Jax's other arm over here. Basically, all we have to do now is, since we've made it down to the end, we're just going to go back to the beginning right here and connect those two dots together. And that's going to form a nice little enclosure. I'm going to zoom back out by holding down Control or Command and the minus sign this time instead of the plus sign to go ahead and zoom out. And as you can see, we have our nice little cutout right here. So from here, what I want to do is, now that we have this nice connection, we're going to right click and we're going to say make selection. Once we do that, this little screen is actually going to pop up right here. It's going to ask you if you want to feather the cutout, which basically means give it kind of like a little bit of a blurry buffering space. So it kind of like gives it almost a fading type effect. I'm not going to do any of that at this time, simply because, you know, I think we went in pretty close and we have a nice cut. So I feel pretty comfortable about that. Let's just go ahead and press OK. And then it'll make this selection right here. From here, all we have to do is basically copy or cut out the image. I like to go ahead and just copy it instead of cutting it out. So I'll do Control or Command on my keyboard and press C. You can, and that will copy the image. You can also go to edit right here and then just press copy if you want to as well. So that's either way is fine. And then once I've copied it, I'm going to go back to edit right here and do paste, or I can do Command V as well, and it will make another copy. So I have two copies up here right now, so I only need one. So this is basically our cutout right here. And if you can see, we have our two layers down here. If I get rid of the bottom layer, which is the original image, you'll see that I have this nice, just clean cutout of Jax right here. Now, there are some things down here. There's some space between each of his arms, and I definitely want to get rid of those too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reselect the pen tool. I'm going to zoom back in and then just quickly cut out these smaller parts right here. So let's just go ahead and cut these out right now. Okay, now once I've made the selection here, I can basically, you know, since we've already cut out the main image, I don't really need this to save this piece right here. So I can basically just cut it out by pressing Control X or going up to the edit screen and then cutting it out as well. And that will just remove it. And like I said, I don't need to do anything else with that. Let's do the other side here. Okay, now I've cut out both of the little separations between his arms, and here we have our fully cut out version of Jax right here. I think it looks pretty good. I'd love to see him on a background, because that's what really all of this is about, is being able to place your object in different backgrounds. So now I'm going to find a nice cutout background wallpaper, if you will, for him. Okay, so I was able to find this really cool stone wall that I thought looked really nice. So I kind of want to put Jax in front of this, because maybe, you know, he's punching through some of these walls or creating some tremors or something. I don't know. Leaves it open to the imagination. Let's go back to Jax right here. And all I'm going to do is basically just select him. We have him right here. I'm going to do Control C again, or copy from the edit menu bar. And then I'm going to go back to the stone wall and then paste him right in here. Now, as you can see, the image of Jax himself is a little bit bigger than the wall. So I do want to kind of shrink him down a little bit. So the way I do that is actually by transforming the object. And the way to transform is going to be holding down Control or Command and actually pressing T. And that will give you these brackets right here that you can actually just kind of shrink down, shrink your character down with. So I want to make sure he kind of fits nicely in here. You know, he doesn't need to be too big, but I think this is actually a really good point right here. Maybe just like right to the side right here, just to kind of leave a little space open, maybe for some text or something like that, if you will. And he looks pretty good. I really like the way he looks. You know, one extra thing I might want to consider doing is maybe adding a little bit of separation between Jax and the background, or my image in the background. So the way you can do that is with a nice stroke around the character, and you basically just go to the layer of your image right here. You're going to press the FX button down here directly under your layers, and you're going to select stroke right here. Now this is going to create a nice little outline around the character. I'm going to change my position to outside because I don't want the stroke to be going in on him. And then I'm just going to kind of adjust the size so you can see what that actually looks like if it's all blown out like that. Let me change the color to actually white, just to make it even more striking. And then of course I'm just going to kind of bring it down a little bit. Yeah, I think that it looks really fun and a little cartoony, and I actually kind of like it like that. So I'm happy with this size right here. Maybe down just one more. That's perfect. So I'll go ahead and press OK. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's basically how you can cut out simple objects in Photoshop. I hope you guys found this educational and you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for hanging out. I'll be using this cutout actually for my live stream on twitch.tv. So check me out, twitch.tv/vbabyv. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, you know, please let me know in the comments section below. And thank you guys for watching.